13-year-old boy accused the superstar of molesting him. But tonight, he passionately ups the ante with a bizarre insight into this most bizarre of cases. Like, for instance, this uncanny picture that Jackson had an artist paint.
To show you the eccentricity of this man, Michael Jackson, is he has commissioned an artist to paint a picture of him with him in the center, showing Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Mona Lisa, E.T., Albert Einstein, and I thought he was trying to project an image that he is in the same league as these guys in the picture.
But for the man-child who was accused of being the Pied Piper of perversion, Quindoy says the picture gets even more bizarre.
Everyone in the world knows that Elizabeth Taylor proclaimed Michael Jackson as the king of pop. I think he's the king of hype instead, because he bought himself a king's crown, you know, with jewels and rubies, and I think it's worth like $280,000, $300,000. It sits in the center of his memorabilia room. I know the memorabilia room because I built it myself for Michael Jackson. I put all his tour jackets there, his tour jewelry, and in the center is the crown.
But Quindoy is suspicious about the publicized friendship between Michael Jackson and Elizabeth Taylor, who stayed at Neverland after one of her bouts in hospitals.
I don't know if you'll believe me, and neither does the world, but I think that the relationship between Michael Jackson and Elizabeth Taylor is pure farce. It's they're using each other to promote each other, and I'm really surprised how Elizabeth Taylor went out of her way to, you know, give more support to Michael. But otherwise, when Elizabeth Taylor was there was like, she was there over 2 weeks. There was only one time that they had dinner together.
It's not what Quindoy thinks. It's what he says he saw in the 2 years that he and his wife worked for Jackson.
From the rec room, you can look down towards the jacuzzi, and I was looking out after checking, you know, the rec room, whether the maids have closed the, you know, blocked the doors and the windows, and I was just checking. And I happened to look out, and there I saw Michael with this kid, whom I will identify as boy number 1, you know, and I saw them kissing, you know, in the mouth. And I saw Michael holding this kid and putting his hand inside the undergarment of the kid. And I thought to myself, what the heck is that hand doing there? And I was so embarrassed, I turned back, sat on the sofa for a while, and I looked out again, and I saw what they were doing. This happened for about, probably about a minute and a half, and I decided to get down and get out from the back door, and I went to my apartment. I told my wife, hey, what I have just seen. And this confirmed our worst suspicions about Michael Jackson.
And from Neverland, as Quindoy drove Jackson and a young boy to Santa Barbara, the suspicions were allegedly then confirmed even more.
I'd look back and I'd see him, you know, fondling the kid, kissing him all around the face, and holding him around his thighs.
Now, on the face of it, Michael Jackson is a philanthropist.
I think he's one of the stingiest person I ever met. When there was a labor unrest in the ranch, and people were clamoring for a little raise, and he would ask Faye and I to go try to appease these people by, you know, giving a party for them. Like Faye and I would throw a lunch for them to appease them for a while. But then, when he could not hold on any longer to appease these people and to solve the labor unrest of the ranch, then he gave them a raise worth 26 cents an hour.
How would Michael Jackson choose his children friends?
First qualifications, you have to be white. Yes. So far as we know, there's never been a black kid involved during our time. He loves white kids.
This thing about his whiteness, what's that all about?
He claimed that he was suffering from a skin disorder, which is in fact called by medical science as vitiligo. That is not true at all, because I researched vitiligo myself. And you're supposed to have, one who is a victim of vitiligo is supposed to have white patches all around his body, but not, you know, you're not completely white as you are right now. And besides, I know him to be white because he wants to be white because he is bleaching himself, and I know this to be a fact. When we first got employed the ranch, at that time he was brownish, you know, he was like a mulatto. He was beautiful at the time, but probably the medicine, the treatment, overreacted, and he's now as white as white.
Once again, everybody has to be reminded that Michael Jackson hasn't been charged with a single thing. But if tomorrow's deposition goes as scheduled, the superstar is in for a rough ride. From Manila, Maureen, back to you.
Thanks, Steve. And Steve will have more from the Quindoys tomorrow. A look at that when we come back. Rose.